For 2,000 years, billions of people have given their lives, their money, and their trust to something they can't even see. But what if it was all a lie? I mean, imagine donating 10% of your paycheck to a Nigerian prince because he promised you riches. It sounds insane, but is that what's happening here? Are billions of people really falling for the longest running scam in history? Join me as we rip this whole thing wide open, exposing every claim, every spicy plot twist, and every hidden truth around Christianity being the greatest scam in history, or if there's something deeper at play. And just when you think you've cracked the code, at the end of the video, I'm dropping a massive wrecking ball, so undeniable, it could make over 2 billion people rethink everything. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. What even is a scam? A scam is when your sketchy cousin tells you he can flip your $100 into $1,000 and then ghosts you. It's people selling you dreams for their own benefit. Think pyramid schemes, influencers pushing miracle diet pills, or televangelists flexing their private jets. If Christianity is a scam, someone has to be profiting. But here's where it gets weird. Some of the wealthiest people on the planet have made millions off this religion. But at the same time, Christianity has sparked some of the most self-sacrificing movements in history. People who gave up everything to help others, serving in dangerous places, and enduring unimaginable suffering to live out their faith. How can both exist at the same time? That contradiction is a major red flag, and we're not going to ignore it. Let's follow the money. We've got preachers like Kenneth Copeland, who said he needed a private jet because flying commercial would trap him in a tube full of demons.
Okay.
Creflo Dollar, yes, Dollar is his real name, who asked his own congregation for $65 million to buy a Gulfstream jet for Jesus.
What?
Another prosperity preacher, Jesse Duplantis, pulled the same move and made headlines in 2018 when he asked his followers to help him buy a $54 million private jet. He claimed God told him he needed the plane to spread the gospel without stopping for refueling. He also owns multiple jets and a lavish Louisiana estate. These are but a few of the high-profile preachers who live lavish lifestyles while their followers are barely able to pay their bills. They promise blessings in exchange for donations, basically selling miracles like their vending machine snacks. It's easy to see why people call this a scam. Church is collecting millions in tithes while communities crumble around them. It's a hard pill to swallow. But, and it's a big but, there's another side to this. What about the underground churches in places where Christianity is illegal? Like in China, for example. The martyrs who literally die for their faith. The missionaries who live broke, suffer, and are sometimes also martyred in order to spread their faith. If it's a scam, why are people willing to lose everything for it? The idea of people carrying a lie to their graves and refusing to confess even under torture makes you wonder. It's one thing to fabricate stories for financial gain, but what kind of belief makes people choose death over renouncing a supposed lie? What truth, or perceived truth, was powerful enough that people would rather die than give it up? Maybe the people being scammed are just brainwashed. Maybe Christianity is just mass delusion. People have followed cult leaders to their deaths, convinced they were serving some divine purpose. Enter Warren Jeffs and the FLDS. In the secluded deserts of Utah and Arizona, Warren Jeffs led the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, FLDS, amassing an estimated net worth of around $100 million. The sect owned approximately 750 homes and properties valued at $115 million, basically controlling entire towns. Jeffs exploited his followers, enforcing polygamy, including marriages to underage girls, and dictating every aspect of their lives. His flashy lifestyle contrasted with the poverty of his congregation. In 2011, his reign ended when he was convicted of receiving a life sentence plus 20 years. And then we have Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Jim Jones founded the People's Temple, initially promoting social equality, but gradually transforming into a manipulative and controlling leader. He amassed wealth by exploiting his followers, who surrendered their earnings and properties to the church. Reports indicate that Jones concealed at least $10 million in secret international bank accounts. In 1978, Jones orchestrated a mass self-deletion of his followers by getting over 900 people, including children, to drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Manipulation, coercion, and control are real, and we've seen them destroy lives. But then you've got people like C.S. Lewis and Isaac Newton, some of the smartest minds ever, who were devout Christians. If Christianity is just a mind trick, why would some of the smartest thinkers in human history also fall for it? And not just back then. Scientists and philosophers, and even ex-atheists, still convert after analyzing the evidence today. To say Christians are just brainwashed isn't that simple. The idea that billions of people, many of them rational, intelligent, and skeptical, are all blindly deceived starts to sound like a conspiracy theory itself. So we need to look at the evidence. These 4 fundamental questions are used to prove Christianity true, or a con full of absolute lies told for financial gain. My friend Boba will dive into this part.
So the first question is, do we believe in absolute truth? You might think Keanu Reeves is the best actor alive, but someone else might think his acting is trash. He was great in Cyberpunk 2077 though, but that's subjective truth. What might be true for me might not be true for you. But then there are absolute truths, like the fact that the Earth orbits the sun, or that when you put your hand in fire, you burn. So, if absolute truth exists, it's possible that Christianity could either be absolutely true or absolutely false. Which brings us to the next question. Does God exist? Even atheists agree that space, time, and matter had a beginning. The Big Bang Theory supports this, and logically, whatever created space, time, and matter must exist outside of them, which means there is a God. But this doesn't automatically mean Christianity is true. Yet when we dig into the historical claims of the Bible, things start to get weird. Did Jesus rise from the dead? This is the biggest claim in Christianity, and if it falls apart, Christianity dies. But the evidence is wild. Multiple historical sources confirm Jesus existed and was crucified. No serious historian disputes this. Roman records from Tacitus mention him, and Jewish historians like Josephus confirm he lived and died by crucifixion. After his death, even his enemies admitted the tomb was empty, claiming the disciples stole the body. But that explanation crumbles under scrutiny because Roman guards would have faced execution for losing a corpse, yet none of them were punished. And then, over 500 witnesses claimed to have seen Jesus alive. These weren't random nobodies. They were people who endured brutal deaths rather than deny what they saw, standing as unwavering testaments to an event that defied explanation. If the resurrection was a scam, someone could have just produced Jesus' body, but they never did, and the people who supposedly faked it were tortured, beaten, and killed, yet never backed down. And the last question, is the Bible legit? Some claim the Bible is a fairy tale, but history, archaeology, and science keep accidentally proving it right. The Bible predicted historical events centuries before they happened. Archaeology keeps backing it up. The Dead Sea Scrolls matched modern Old Testament texts with 99% accuracy. The Bible even mentions scientific concepts way before scientists caught on, like the Earth floating in space and the water cycle. If Christianity is fake, why does history, science, and archaeology keep proving it right?
Most scams make life easier for the scammer, but Christianity makes life harder for its followers. They are told to love their enemies, deny their desires, and endure suffering. They're asked to forgive people who wrong them, give up wealth, and live with radical humility. Why would someone invent a scam that makes their own life miserable? That's where the wrecking ball we spoke about in the beginning comes in. Enter the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is a linen cloth bearing the faint image of Jesus who appears to have suffered physical trauma consistent with crucifixion. Many people believe the shroud is the burial cloth of Jesus Christ, as the image aligns with biblical descriptions of his crucifixion, including wounds at the wrists, feet, and side. The shroud shows signs of scourging and a head injury, which some interpret as marks of the crown of thorns. For Christians, the shroud is a powerful object that may offer a tangible connection to Jesus' death and resurrection, reinforcing faith in biblical events. Whether viewed as a relic, a medieval artifact, or an unsolved mystery, even with modern tech, scientists still can't fully explain how the image got there. And then there are countless people who claim they were rescued from addiction, abuse, and darkness through faith in Jesus. Entire nations have been changed because of Christianity's influence. Some still say Christianity is the world's biggest Ponzi scheme, conning millions worldwide. But after all this, that claim starts to feel a bit flimsy. Christianity is real. Jesus is real. What do you think? Is Christianity the biggest scam in history, or is it the ultimate truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.